So, hello everyone. My name is Clara. I have made a few YouTube videos, but I think this is going to be my first one where I'm going to kind of try a little bit more beyond just doing like a sketchbook kind of commentary. So, yeah, this is kind of meant to be like a process video. I don't know, I really like listening to videos where people kind of talk about art, talk about what they're passionate about, and I'll draw along or, multitask. So that's kind of what this video is meant for. You can watch me work on this piece and listen to my random thoughts. So let me just kind of jump in and talk about this piece. This is done with chalks. I don't have a ton of experience with chalks, but I really like the colors for these. They're just really vibrant and fun, and I picked them out with my friend Trisha at a Blix, and I have the strategy that I go about, I think, a lot of my supplies at this point, where I'll just kind of go in and say, okay, I'm gonna pick a color scheme, I'm gonna pick like kind of a general mood, and then I'll only buy those colors. And what this really enables me to do is I can kind of out of the gate, first of all, I'm not buying as many colors, I'm not buying as many like supplies, I'm only buying like 5 or 6, but second of all, it makes it to where I kind of already have done the work on planning the color scheme. So whenever I'm feeling kind of a little less, inspired to work on a piece, I can just pull these out and I kind of already have a color scheme to work off of, especially when you're working with like pencils or chalks. So I picked this color scheme. It's supposed to feel kind of like romantic, and yet it's got like this vibrant green that kind of cuts through it. You'll see it later. Right now I'm still kind of stuck on the pinks, and yeah, that's kind of my strategy, and it works really well for me. So these are Sennelier, hopefully I'm saying that right, chalks, and basically what I'm doing is drawing out the face and kind of trying to see where I want to add some warmth in the pinks and the highlights, and just building it up. And I have like this little brush that came with like one of my sketch boxes that I have tried to kind of blend. I don't know if anybody has real knowledge on how to use chalks, I'll take it. This is a lot of me just kind of experimenting. And so yeah, that's how I roll about, I guess, the supplies and the colors. When it comes to the actual subject, man, I don't honestly know. Sometimes I'll be perfectly honest. I started working on this piece because I was working on the copy of the master by John Singer Sargent, and that was so more outside my element than I had initially anticipated. I thought it was going to be a really straightforward kind of like copy the painting, but ended up being, the looseness was like really hard to follow, and I was really doubting myself as an artist. And one of my, I guess, art coping mechanisms when I'm doubting myself as an artist is I'll just start painting, drawing portraits of pretty girls, I guess. It kind of helps me feel kind of calm or confident. Also do flowers, just pretty things, because I feel like it's a lot harder to make something that's already pretty look bad, and it helps kind of boost my confidence a bit. So that's pretty much what I did, is I found a pretty generic looking picture of a girl. The other advantage of doing that is I feel like I can interpret it a little bit more. Like, the more generic it looks, the more I can kind of try to pull out whatever emotion I can, even though there's very little emotion here. And I don't know, just kind of have a little bit more fun with it. And I also just really like doing hair a lot. And I you'll see, I've gone over the hair in this piece quite a few times, just trying to make it look kind of how I liked. I really like, that's kind of the lovely thing about working, I think, with these chalks, is you can just layer it infinitely, and there's really not a downside to it. It's pretty forgiving, and so I just kind of layer stuff until I think it looks right. Obviously, the big downside to this is you can overwork a piece, which I think is my constant struggle, but I think once you kind of figure out that balance, especially with mediums that you're more familiar with, I think it helps. And then the other part of the subject is this, it's actually like a whole bunch of buildings and things that I found, and I've always liked kind of the interesting negative space and shapes and just kind of that drama that the cityscape can give. So I found some like interesting things. I'm realizing now that you can't really see it, but there's like a train at the bottom that I really enjoyed doing, and it was really fun. Maybe I'll push the drawing up later in the video, we'll see. But I did that, and I added kind of like a random spiral staircase in the left corner, and all of that is just to kind of have fun and have interesting looking shapes and things. So that's what I guess the subject, or what I drew here, is. It's not really anything that deep, just me kind of playing around with shapes and mood. So we still got plenty of video left. So I guess I'll use the remainder of this video to kind of talk about what my purpose or intent is with making videos on this channel. And honestly, I don't 100% know. One thing I do like is I do like the format where artists kind of talk or share kind of their thoughts of their process, because I think that's something that's not shared quite enough. I think a lot of times people gloss over their frustration, or they gloss over kind of what led them there to make it seem less, I don't know, less of a battle or less cheesy. But I like to share that, and I like to talk about it, so that's kind of my goal, is I'm gonna basically rant. I'm pretty good at ranting, and or ramble, probably more ramble about, I don't know, my different theories or thoughts on art and things. So I guess let's dig into that. I don't really want to go down this path of telling people how they need to do art. That's pretty clear, but I do want to share, I do honestly want to share what I think about things. And so if I say anything and you don't agree with it, and you like want to bite me, do it, I don't care. But no, seriously, like, that's cool. No hard feelings. I like want to hear everyone's thoughts, but let me have mine too. And yeah, I guess moving on, I don't really know if that's where to start. I didn't plan this, but I guess we'll talk about the very typical subject, and how do I stay motivated doing art? How do most artists stay motivated doing art? And I think most don't, to be honest. I think every single artist I've ever met struggles with staying motivated, but yet they're still doing it. How? Well, I think just like anything, it's something that you just have to remind yourself, and you have to see the high points, and you have to see a purpose of it. And I think also part of that is letting go times when you get frustrated and trying to make something productive out of it. So I mean, in this case, I made this piece because I was feeling kind of low, and it's so odd because I feel like a lot of the times when my motivation is the lowest, I'll actually end up producing some of the best pieces. because I kind of don't care. I tend to be a little riskier. I don't feel like I have to be as careful. And maybe my piece isn't perfect, but the creativity really comes out and the expression comes out. And it's not always like that, I'll be honest, but I think most of the time, oddly enough, my art is the best when I doubt myself, and my art is the worst when I feel very confident in myself. I think the more confident I feel, like making the piece, let's be clear, not after the piece, while I'm making the piece, is probably when it is not that great. But when I'm not very confident, I have more of that beginner's mindset, more of that learning kind of mentality, and I'm a little bit more, I don't know, that lack of confidence weirdly kind of balances my art out and makes me create stuff that's maybe a little bit more experimental. And I mean, sometimes it's not always that way. I mean, there's definitely times I'll go really hard in my comfort zone and just paint flowers for the 50th millionth time, and it's really not that interesting. So I guess this is not like objectively always true. It's just random thoughts. So I guess continuing on the topic of staying motivated, man, I feel like this is something artists talk about a lot. And I've seen a lot of videos and heard a lot of videos, and it kind of comes and goes, and I really don't think there's some sort of secret sauce or something special I can tell you that's different from everyone else. I think it's the same thing of you have to be somewhat disciplined, and you have to kind of hold on to the times that it made you happy. But oddly enough for me, I think one thing that's made an impact recently is not holding myself too harshly to it too. Like, sure, people say stay disciplined, but I don't know, I found it really freeing to not be disciplined too. And I think it's just a balance of kind of, I think giving yourself some slack and allowing yourself to kind of have moments when you're very productive and ride that wave, and then have moments when you're not, and be okay with that. Don't sit in it too long, I guess. So yeah, that is, I think we're kind of getting to a wrap on this video. I'm really curious what everyone thinks. I'm very new to this, so any advice or suggestions or anything that would be cool to talk about. I like to talk, so I'd like to do more of these. It's pretty simple. I just videotape or have a camera going while I draw something, and then look at it and talk over it. It's really not that hard, so I think I can do it. But yeah, just give me any feedback of what would be cool to hear, and I'll make more of these. And yeah, and also let me know what you think of the art. I'm kind of, I don't know, I like it to a degree because it's just, I look at it and I see myself just having fun. And to me, I don't know, there's something really enjoyable about looking at my art and seeing myself kind of just play around with stuff. I need that more. But I mean, I also look at it and it is messy. It is a bit also, I don't know, stereotypical looking. So I mean, I'm not hurt if nobody likes it. But yeah, this is the piece. Thank you.